to thank everybody for taking the time to view this presentation. It's really an important project that the city is hopefully going to undertake, and appreciate your time looking through this. Give you a little history of the statistics. Don't want to bore you with that, but the population in 2005 is 14,000. As of now, this year, it's 18,000. It's increased to 29%. At the time of 2005, the number of sworn officers were 18, and now we're fully staffed at 23, which is a 28% increase. If you look at the workspace, we did a basic remodel, kind of a Band-Aid situation back in 2005. And at this point, we're working at a 3,500 square foot building, and we still are in that same. So we've had no increase in 20 years. This one is if you look at the red arrow on the left, that is the main entrance getting into the City Hall. The green shading area is the police administration and the records office. The current facility is physically separated. The arrows show you from the left arrow is the main entrance, as we just discussed in the last slide. And the one to the right is you go down the stairs, and then is the detective office. The City Hall lower floor in the top right, that is the Civic Center that you might be familiar with. Two separated spaces are on different floors within City Hall. The red arrow shows the main entrance to City Hall. Again, just for consistency, this area right there in front of that is next to the stairs that go up to the second floor into council chambers and city manager's office and some public works offices. That is an interview area. It's just a space. A little later, you'll see a picture of people trying to do some work, interview somebody there, and somebody literally just can walk right through that. The other spot is if you go down the stairs by the detective's office, which is right next to the Civic Center. You see there's an interview space there. Again, it's separated by different levels of the floor. And you would also think about if you're trying to interview somebody in regards to financial crimes, there's no place to lay stuff out, paperwork. If it was a sensitive investigation of child abuse or an assault or a sex crime, again, you don't have the appropriate location and spaces to do a proper interview. The blue shaded area are located in the basement of the City Hall. So on the top to the north is the main entrance. So you come down you go down, and then by the drinking fountain you turn and then go down the stairs, and this is below the main administrative offices. Includes a male and female locker rooms. They do not have any sinks, toilets, or showers. And if you look through the evidence intake is between there, but to get into the property and evidence storage, you have to go through the male locker room. And right now the evidence techs are female, and so you have to work with people changing and stopping and getting through. So the dashed line again is a stairway going down into the basement. The red shaded area, this is the 2005 annex. It includes the squad room, initial evidence processing, equipment storage, and patrol supervisor's office. The evidence processing, you can see is by the cursor there, is also where people do eat their lunches and dinners there. The red dash goes down a set of stairs to an area by the detective's office, and then where that interview space was located. This just gives you, to show you how it's physically separated. There on the bottom is the main entrance. You have the orange area is the public interview area. And then you have, again, the green is the police administration, detectives is in yellow, and red is the annex that was from 20 years ago. And then the basement is below. Multiple sets of steps up, down, and then back up again to get to different floors. This is what the proposed area is. The red area is going to be the main floor. To the right, you can see is the Oddfellows building, and then just to the right is Main Street there. That would have been Latitude 1 restaurant. To the left, you can see the City Hall, and then there would be the police department there. This is a sketch of the floor plan, proposed floor plan. It includes the parking spaces, 2 interview rooms, a standard interview room, and 1 soft interview room to interview victims of crime and witnesses. Public entrance and lobby, police records, police officer evidence processing area, the police officer armory, evidence and property processing. There are 3 rooms dedicated to building purposes, include electrical, mechanical, and the fire riser room. This is the main floor entrance here. You'll see the vestibule, then that would be coming off of Court Street. Vestibule could be secured remotely if someone is coming into the station with bad intentions. Next is the lobby and the elevator. It's a public bathroom that is handicap ADA compliant. Elevator to the second floor. Then the interview rooms, one would be a soft interview and one would be another interview if you needed to spread information out in regards to victim of some frauds or financial crimes. The shaded area is a records section, which would also have bulletproof glass. This whole area would be secure and bulletproof area. Purple shaded area is going to be the officer evidence processing area. Next, once the officers process their evidence and put it into secure, the evidence tech this is their area that they work in. And as you notice, there's a special section for weapons, and everything by law has to be separated by weapons, cash, freezer, refrigerator, and narcotics, and then the regular storage. The yellow shaded area is the armory. This is where police guns and ammunition would be stored. And the green here is that mechanical area I was discussing. Mechanical, the fire riser, and the electrical for the building. Be 13 secure parking spaces. As you can see, on the top is the Court Street entrance. So go into that area, and then the next would have a stairway, secure stairway that would go to this upstairs to the second floor. A bicycle parking area, which is part of code. The red arrow is a secure entrance into the station for the officers. Or if you were to bring a witness in that you did not want everybody to see, a victim of a crime perhaps, they could go in, they would be able to make these statements or look at possible suspects and make some identification. Next area we're going to look at is the red box. It highlights that second floor of the proposed station. Then the next few slides will walk through the interior of the second floor of the proposed station. This is the floor plan of the second floor. It would have a public lobby, standard interview room, administrative offices, conference room, training briefing room, dual purpose area and large enough to accommodate full staff training and training involving other law enforcement. The locker room area with 4 private changing areas. Let's discuss that a little bit further and later on in the presentation. Detectives' offices include separate office for the supervisor, patrol squad room, centrally located, and 2 separate officers for patrol supervisors. These 2 offices would be shared by 2 supervisors apiece. And then there'd be a break room and equipment and storage. As you can see, the blue is a larger room for training and briefing. The room is large enough to support training with other agencies. The room also includes a sizable storage closet. The lockers and shower room, they are unisex. As you can see right now, we have 2 female officers, but within a year or 2 years, we could have 4, depends on the attrition rate. There's 4 shower and bathroom areas that are not gender specific. So you would grab your clothes, go in and change, and come back and then get the rest of your uniform on. It also allows, if your uniform is soiled during a shift, you can come here, you can change, and then there's also a laundry facility. Green is a wellness area. Many times half the officers are working graveyard, and court is during the day. Grand jury typically starts somewhere between 8 and 9. So if you get off at 7, get through your briefing by 7:30, and your court is anywhere between 9, 10, maybe 10:30, you can stay there in a secure area, still stay in uniform and take a quick sleep, part of your night's sleep, get up, testify, then change clothes and go home and finish your sleep cycle as best that you can. But it allows that to happen in a secure area. The detective suites, as we talked about, slots for the detectives, and then the detective sergeant's office area there, and then the patrol area for their workspaces. And it is also with anticipation this facility is designed for the ability to still continue 50 years from this point. Then we have if you come up the elevator to the lobby area, you also have a secure area there, another bathroom that is ADA compliant. This will be another interview room that is up there closer to the officers. Command staff will be the chief, record supervisor, and then also the second in command, whatever. Could be a lieutenant, it could be a captain, whatever the actual rank is, could change. Conference room there, and then a stairway to go down to the first floor. We have an area for equipment and uniform. And again, IT and electrical and storage for the building. A break room with a area that we get a kitchenette and food preparation space and a dining room or a dining table. And then the patrol supervisors would be right off to the right of that area. This area is the main part of that is the bottom of the first floor, and then there's a patio there. The patio there is part of a green space. The green space is designed specifically in the front of City Hall to put, it's a protection for the cars from driving through, but it's also for planners. The bike rack, and then also this patio area is considered green space. The city has obtained a grant that more than pays for that. The patio is there, and instead of having the full second floor go all the way back, that would create a hazard for the library that is adjoining that. And with the snow load from the snow coming off of this building, the new police department, to that would have to be re-engineered and rebuilt and a new structure put on the library. So instead of doing that, they did this, put a patio, and was able to obtain a grant to cover that area. And if you look on this, you will see the planters in front of the department. That is an area to protect the cars from driving through into the police station. The Oddfellow building is located to the right of the station, as I discussed earlier, and City Hall is to the left. And the front of the station faces Court Street. You can see the intent of the design to use different colored bricks to separate the first and second floors, as well as the vertical orientated building entry to divide the length of the building from left to right. The next 2 slides will call out a few of the architectural details of the building. This is the front northwest corner of the building shown by the red arrow. You can see the connex extends out from the vertical wall of the building in this image, which provides subtle depth and dimension to the building. You can also see the brickwork on the cornice is orientated vertically, which provides a visual separation of the cornice from the building walls, which have horizontal orientated masonry. The same use of the vertical masonry can be seen between the first and the second floor of the building, as shown by the blue arrow. This first photo shows the primary building entrance to the public. You'll notice a few architectural details in this image. First, the blue arrow shows the entryway is elevated slightly above the roof line of the rest of the building. This provides a visual break in the straight roof line without being overbearing. The red arrow shows that the entry is set back or recessed from the front walls of the building. You can see the brickwork is slowly stepped back in several layers. As you can see, that is there. Then the green arrow shows one of the street level building planters. These planters will provide visual interest as a pedestrian level, but also provide a physical barrier from vehicle intrusion into the building from the street. This slide shows the full image of the street view of the proposed station. Hopefully you can see those architectural elements that we just called out in the prior slides when looking at the full image of the building. This is one of the two existing interviewing areas where interviewing victims of crime or witnesses to crime. You may notice that the front public entrance to the City Hall is located just behind the interview area. This interview space is not private and is not ideal setting for interviewing to take place. This slide is a proposed soft room interview for illustration purposes only. This type of interview room is when police officers would interview crime victims and witnesses to crime. It's much more comfortable and private setting. In this setting, individuals are more likely to share their experiences, which will better assist our officers in solving crime. This is the existing evidence processing area within the department. The conference room table is used by shift briefing, staff meetings. It's also used for initial processing of criminal evidence by our officers. The table is also used for a break area by our officers where they will eat their meals. The single table for all of these use is not efficient, sanitary, or safe. This is a proposed evidence room. Again, illustration purposes only. It has a dedicated surface, tools, and equipment needed for evidence processing and secure pass-through lockers along the back wall. Once the evidence is processed, they're put through, the lockers open, put through there, and the key is no longer available, so the officer cannot get his evidence retrieved until an evidence tech person logs in that they are there. A new police station will assist with the retention and recruitment of our police officers. The new station will provide a physical work environment that enhances officer safety, particularly with the secure parking spaces to give direct access to the station, provide appropriate spaces and tools to do their work. And then why do we want to retain our officers? Recruitment of new officers is expensive. The cost of onboarding and training is in excess of $100,000. Training a new police officer may take 6 months to a year and removes one senior officer of patrol during that whole time. The map of the city limits and the proposed station is centrally located. The city limits are shaded in gray, and then the proposed station would be right there in the center. The central location will enable emergency response from the station to reach all outlying areas in the city in roughly the same amount of time. City Hall is not seismically sound. the new police station would be seismically sound. If an earthquake were to occur while the police were located in the current facilities, is it likely that they would not be able to provide adequate emergency response to the community? This would also be a secondary use of an emergency response command center called an emergency operations command center. The proposed police station cost is $17.2 million. The city has referred a bond measure to the May 2025 ballot asking for voters to approve the bond authority for the amount of $17.2 million. The estimated property tax levy rate is 0.52 cents per 1,000 of assessed property value. The bond is proposed for a 30-year bond. The length of this bond minimizes the annual cost per taxpayer. This slide will show a bit of a breakdown in our community. The monthly breakdown of the cost is shown above using the average house value and average assessed or taxable value. The average house value, which is the market value of a house in Dallas, is what you would hope to sell your house for, is $425,500. The average assessed taxable value in the city of Dallas is $227,500. Using these numbers, the monthly cost for an average house in Dallas is $9.86 per month. I want to thank you for taking time to go through this video. If you have any questions, please contact Friends of Dallas PD, the PACT, on Facebook, or email of a friendsofdallaspd@gmail.com. If you're interested in a tour of the current police department, please contact Allison Robertson. And here's her email address and phone number listed. And if you want, you can scan that and also make a contact with Allison. If you have any other questions, please make sure you reach out, and thank you for your time.